Guys, I had my first driving lesson yesterday, and you know what? Driving was actually not that bad. My instructor was probably more scared than I was, because I was just like, I think I'm doing fine. Like, we're not hitting anything. I think the first time I drove was the hardest because I was in a parking lot and it was kind of hilly, and whenever a car would come, I would just like hit the brakes and just be like, go ahead. So the first time I drove was pretty scary. Second time I drove was with my brother, and it was like in a big open parking lot, and that was okay because there was like no other cars around. But still, if I saw another car, I just hit the brakes and just wait. Pretend I'm not there. But this time though, I actually came in contact with other cars. Not as in like I hit them, but I saw other cars on the road and I did not panic. And if you guys drive, let me know in the comments below how your first driving lesson was, because I'm really curious to see if we had like similar experiences. For me, I mean, we didn't crash, so I thought I did pretty good. Hey guys, it's Rachel, and today we are making this adorable Sumikko Gurashi Kit Kat cake. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing Sumikko Gurashi right. I feel like it should be phonetic, right? Just Sumikko Gurashi? Gurashi? If it's not clear already, I took Mandarin in high school, not Japanese. But anyways though, this cake is adorable. I love how it came out. I think the water effect is really cool, and you'll see what it's made out of in just a little bit. I love how they get all like nestled in the water, so they look like they're just, you know, just chilling in the little hot tub. Actually, it's probably not a hot tub. It's probably more like a hot spring. It's inspired by a picture that I saw online, and it looks kind of like a hot tub, but it's more of like a Japanese hot spring, I think. I should probably research my videos before I do them more, but anyways though, it's super cute, and if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do so because I post 2 new videos every week. And without further ado, let's get started. First off, in a large bowl, you'll want 3 cups of flour. Then go ahead and add in a tablespoon of baking powder, along with a half teaspoon of salt. Then just whisk this all together. Once it is nice and combined, go ahead and set that aside. And in a separate bowl, you'll want 2 sticks of nice soft butter. Just to make sure these are nice and creamy though, we're just going to cream this until it gets nice and smooth. Then add in 2 cups of sugar, and you know the drill, just mix that until it gets nice and light and fluffy. Once you've achieved maximum fluff, you're just going to go ahead and add in 4 eggs. Normally I add these in one at a time, but today I just wanted to experiment with it and see what would happen if I added them in all at once. And you know what? Nothing bad happened. The cake didn't explode, and you can see it just gets really nice and smooth, so works out fine. Now you're going to add in a tablespoon of vanilla extract and just mix that through. At this point you're going to add in about half of the dry ingredients and just mix those in. Then you want to add in a cup of milk, and just to make sure everything gets combined really nicely, I like to microwave the milk for about 15 or 20 seconds or so, just to get it kind of room temperature. That way it incorporates nice and smoothly. And I bet you know what's coming next. You're just going to add in the rest of the dry ingredients and mix that all through. Now you're just going to grab your 2 8-inch cake pans that have been greased and ideally also lined with parchment paper, which I forgot to do today, but don't tell anybody. Anyways though, you're just going to fill this up with your batter. You can see I'm using an ice cream scoop and just alternating, just to make sure the batter is divided perfectly evenly. Then just smooth these out, and then bake these off at 350 for about 30 to 35 minutes. Once they come out of the oven, they should be nice and golden brown on top like this. Let those cool for about 10 minutes or so, then just run a knife around the edge of your pan. Now go ahead and flip over your cakes. And if you had lined it with parchment paper, it would have popped out really nicely, but I had to kind of nudge it out. It was totally fine in the end, but it would have been easier if I just remembered that parchment paper. But you know what? Everybody makes mistakes. It's all good. While our cakes cool down completely, let's make the Jello. Here I just have some berry blue Jello. And I'm just going to pour that into my bowl. Then go ahead and add in 2 1/4 cups of boiling water. And just mix that all through until everything is nice and combined. Then grab yourself an 8-inch cake tin. Don't mind the fact that this is a 6-inch cake tin. Kind of a long story, but in short, I basically just wanted to have some Jello prepped ahead of time. But anyways though, just pour that into your cake tin. You can see I also have my tin inside of another pan, just to make it easier to transport to the fridge. And then just refrigerate that for about 3 hours or so, just until it's nice and firm. At this point, our cake should be nice and cooled. And we're going to go ahead and just level off the tops. You can see I'm making this one quite a bit shorter, just to make sure that we have enough room to add in our Jello. Now go ahead and pop this onto a rotating cake stand. And you're just going to start frosting this up. Pretty standard cake procedure, you're just going to frost the middle first. Then add on your second cake. and then frost the outside with a crumb coat, basically just a super thin layer of frosting just to lock in all of those crumbs. And by the way, I'll have the recipe for this frosting over on my website, and that'll be linked in the description box below. Now I'm just going to add on my final layer of frosting. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to line the outside of the cake with Kit Kats, and we're going to cover the top of the cake with Jello, so really it does not have to be perfect at all. And now it is time for the Kit Kats. In total, I used about 15 packages of these standard size Kit Kats. I know it sounds like a lot, but it is a pretty extravagant cake, and of course you can buy this in a king size package, and now that it's kind of Halloween time, there should be no shortage of Kit Kats. And when you get towards the end, if you find that your Kit Kat doesn't fit perfectly, you can always trim down the size of your Kit Kat. And just like that, you can make it work. Alright, now all of our Kit Kats are on the cake, and you can see this looks so cool, just like a little hot tub fence. And now let's grab our completely set Jello. I'm just going to grab a butter knife and go ahead and cut the Jello into squares. You want to cut these squares as small as possible, depending on how choppy you want your hot tub to look. And you can see this looks just like water. It's so cool. It's all clear and shiny. Anyways though, you can see this is going to be perfect for our water. It also throws off the exposure on my camera, I later found out, but luckily you can still see what I'm doing, and it'll get better right about now. There you go, you can see this looks just like water in a hot tub. It's super cool. Now hear me out on this one. You're gonna grab a kitchen torch and just start torching the Jello. I know you're probably thinking like, Rachel, are you sure about this one? But when you torch the Jello, it kind of melts down those corners and makes them nice and smooth and water-like. This way it doesn't look like it's super choppy water in the hot tub, it just looks kind of softer and more ocean-like. If you're not comfortable using a kitchen torch though, you can definitely skip this step, or you can use a hairdryer. And just make sure you're not torching the Kit Kats. Alright, that's looking awesome. Just pop that off into the fridge for now. And then we'll just work on our decorations on top. Here I just have some white fondant, and I'm shaping it into kind of an oval shape. Then I've just cut off the bottom so it stands up nicely. Then I'm just grabbing some more white fondant and just rolling it into another oval. Go ahead and press some pink fondant on top. This is going to be for the ear. Then just cut that in half. And attach it to the body with some water. Looking super cute already. Now for the facial details, you're just going to grab some black fondant and add on an oval for the nose and 2 circles for the eyes. And of course it always helps to use water to attach fondant to fondant. Then add on some cheeks using pink fondant. And by the way, that's powdered sugar on my work surface just to make sure that nothing sticks. And I'm adding on the little kind of towel on the head with some pink fondant. In the original picture, this is actually one of the Sumikko Gurashi characters, but I thought it'd be a little bit crazy to try to fit a face on the front of the towel there. So I'm just going to grab some white candy melts and just add on some dots. And you can see that is looking so cute. Go ahead and set that aside for now. Then let's make his little friend Tapioca. I'm just grabbing a pink blob of fondant. I've just cut off the bottom, and I'm going to add on the face with some black candy melts. In the actual picture, the Tapiocas never smile, but I couldn't bear to make such a sad little Tapioca, so I had to add on a little smile. Now let's make Penguin. I'm just grabbing some green fondant, and I'm shaping it into an oval again. Then I'm going to cut off the bottom. And now we're going to add on the mouth with just a little oval of yellow fondant. Now add on some detail with the back of a knife. Then add on the eyes with black candy coating. And brush on some more water onto the little tummy. After that, press on a circle of white fondant. Give him a belly rub. And then cut off the excess. Now I'm going to add on some arms with some more green fondant. And I know someone's going to ask about this, so no, you probably don't want to eat the entire character because it's going to be a mouthful of fondant, but they look so cute, and using fondant is really the easiest way to do this. So you can see I've just added on the little cucumber that he's always holding. I really don't know why he's holding a cucumber. If someone can explain that in the comments below, that would be helpful. But anyways though, now I'm just adding on the towel on his head. Kind of a funny story about this, I made that towel on his head, I think 4 times. You can see this is a different time of me making that towel on the head. I think the problem was that I was making the dots too big and raised with the candy quick, but you know what they say, 3rd time's the charm. And sure enough, I didn't like that one either, so I threw that one out. And then finally, I gave up on using the candy quick, and I just made this with green fondant. I just brushed some water all over the surface of the towel, and then I added all those green fondant dots because I later realized that the dots aren't even blue in the first place, they're green. Then I brushed some water onto his head and popped on the towel for the last time. And you can see these look absolutely adorable. The last step is just to pop these into your cake. And you can see they fit really nicely in that Jello if you just give them a little push. You also want to make sure you add them in right before you serve, otherwise the fondant might weep a little bit in the Jello. And that's it. Alright guys, our Sumikko Gurashi Kit Kat cake is finished now, and this is super adorable. Another side note, my whole fridge smells like Berry Blast Jello right now, so I recommend making this cake like right before you're gonna serve it. Otherwise, everything smells like Berry Blast, which, you know, it's not the worst thing. It's not the best thing either though, because it's just it's quite the arresting scent because I open my fridge and it's like, oh right, I made a cake. In any case though, this cake is super cute and I really hope you guys give it a try. And if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do so right up there because I post 2 new videos every week. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter at kawaiisweetwearld. And you can check out my website for the full recipe for this cake over on kawaiisweetworld.com. And I'll see you guys all on Friday. Alright, talk to you next time. Bye guys. Oh my gosh, is that another spot I see? Just try to smooth it out. Or just eat it. Gently stroke your cake and assure it that everything will be all better. There we go.